have a confession to make. For many, many years, I have been fascinated with tiny living, and not just van life. I've been interested in tiny houses, houseboats, tree houses, caravans, all sorts of different types of living. And I keep going to different shows and expos and just getting them ideas and basically just interested in how other people live and how other people enjoy their life, and not just the whole 9 to 5 and going home, sleeping and eating and repeat. I want to live my life. I want to enjoy nature. I want to go out and see what the world has to offer, and tiny living gives me that. And I'm sure that gives a lot of other people that outlet as well. So today we're going to the Tiny Home Expo. Now the goal today is to find some information about things we haven't actually thought about. So different places to park, what there is to offer the full-time van lifers. If there's anything I didn't actually know already. Another thing is design. Anything we need to do to the van, weight limits, all that sort of stuff. And just basically how to spruce it up and make it seem like a home. I want to get some ideas from some of these nice little places. So let's go check some out. But first, I need some breakfast because I've had a hell of a morning trying to get here, and I think I need some food. So there's heaps of vendors here. I haven't actually gone around there, but I know I've walked through really quickly, and I know there's heaps of stuff to choose from. So coffee time. That's the sign I was looking for. I had to go an iced latte today because it is a stinker. I think it's about 30 degrees. So there's heaps of different types of living here. There is tiny homes, there is container homes, little pods up ahead that I find quite interesting. I think we might go there first because I've never actually seen these. They're called luxury pods. I think they're a bit more modern than the tiny homes. Well, they look more modern than tiny homes, a bit more futuristic, shall we say. So let's have a look. I think the beauty of the one behind me is that every room has a window. Doesn't matter where you are in the little pod, everywhere you have like floor to ceiling windows to see the view outside, which I thought was quite cool. The little one just behind me over there is almost like a little portable office. So if you needed an office, a separate place to work, that's a great one to put in your backyard, and or even on a property or something like that, just to have a workspace, which I'm quite interested in. I thought I quite like that one. Dream Modular. Okay, so this is a bit bigger over here. This one looks like a 2-bedroom house. I think it's actually bigger than the house I just moved out from. But if you're wanting a granny flat or anything like that at the back of your property for your parents or the kids, I think something like this would be a good idea. Let's have a look. That is a load of space. This is bedroom 1. I think places like this, unfortunately, take away from the whole word tiny, because you can actually get homes like that. And, it's a little bit big. Well, for me anyway. I mean, I'm used to living in like 50 square feet, I think my van is, isn't it? How big is our van? But it's definitely not that big. It's not a 2-bedroom mansion. Well, I think it's a mansion. Wow. I thought the other one was big. Let's check it out. Before we do, check out this solar setup. What if it will fit in our roof? That's what we need. That will sort our battery problem out. Again, that one seemed really big. The only thing different about that one I thought was the massive ceilings inside above the kitchen area. That would give nice airflow. And we were just talking to a gentleman in there, and he said the same thing. He said, I used to live in a house smaller than this. They're just, I don't know, they're trying to be tiny. The whole point of a tiny house is to be tiny, and I think they're just a little bit too big. And with this one, this one's a 2-story. I thought was going to be a 2-bedroom, it was actually, yes, it was a 2-bedroom. It had one bedroom upstairs, one downstairs, and it had a little tiny office area above the kitchen, and you could look down. It was actually quite cool. Looks like we have here, they're showing the framework of the tiny houses here. Well, this is an A-frame. Oh, that's cool. Tim would love that. Oh, this is cool. See those French doors here? I love that. That gives it a really nice homey feel. 125,000. It beats 500,000 or plus for a house, that's for sure. Oh, I like these walls too. That one I just went into behind me there, that is longer and bigger than the others, and it felt really spacious inside, and I really like the wood along the walls. It's like our Sprinter having paneling. It made it much more homely than the other ones. It was just like straight. So, looks like these ones here are actually on wheels and they slide out, which I think is quite clever. The one behind me actually folds. It's not actually a slide out. And so the walls fold in and the bottom folds up. But I just saw a gap, like on the way out you can see a gap, and yeah, weird. I think the guy in there was saying there's a sealant that goes through there, but it's like those things where it's just too hard sometimes. You can't have too many things that do multiple things, because it's like all you have to do is fold this here and put this here, and I'd rather just drive up and park it. Now this one I like. It is like an old cabin. Let's have a look. This one here has to be my favourite by far. I thought maybe the dark wood would have closed in a bit being so small, but it doesn't. It just gives that nice old cabin feel to it, and I love this. Not that we're fascinated with brown orange at the moment, are we? If you've seen our van, you'll know that it's a bit our style. Oh, and it's got a skylight above the bed. Lovely. Just like ours. Yeah, that one kept to all the theme of tiny as well. It was small but had a massive impact, and I just absolutely love the old cabin feel. Beautiful. This one actually looks quite modern. Let's take a look inside this one. It's really busy today, sorry guys. That one was the same colour scheme as our van, so I quite liked that one as well. It didn't have the cottage feel as the other one, not the cottage feel, it didn't have the cabin feel, I should say, as the other one. It had more of a cottage feel than this one, but a very modern and very much my colour scheme, so I have a soft spot for that one. I really like the wall just above the bed there. I wonder if Tim can do something like that. I think we finished our walls now, to be honest, but next build, whenever that will be, I think that might be a little feature because it looks really neat. Looks like we're getting on to the container homes now. I just had a peek in there and it's just a little bit small. It's funny me saying it's small because I live in a van, but it just seemed a bit cramped and very tinny. But I guess that's just the way that one's decked out. I'll show you. A little bit hard to see because it's very busy here. Sorry guys, I'm probably trying to film this in the worst possible time. But I think it's going to be busy all day because it's a very popular thing nowadays. I'm going to try and hop in one of these chairs. I would absolutely love this. We have a hook for this in the back of our van for a hammock, but this only needs one hook by the looks of things. Let's see if we can get in it without crashing. $345. What do you reckon? I don't think it'll fit in our van though, unfortunately. So it actually feels like you're floating. I really would love one of them, but we don't have storage for it because it's actually quite sturdy timber, and yeah, we've got limited storage, if you know. I'd love it. It's so nice. If I can find something that's all material and that we can hang from the back. See, this is why these expos are good. I get ideas. and Tim will become poorer. Well, we both will become poorer. Here we have the old faithful caravans. We've seen many of these. We went to the caravan and camping show in Brisbane not long ago. Well, it was actually last year. But we think we've seen enough of these ones, so we'll give those a miss today. 89,000. Let's have a look at this. Looks like it is a container home. The gentleman in there was just saying that he doesn't want to move it too much. The reason why it's $89,000 is because it's been 2 shows and it's been moved 3 times. And after they've been moved a few times, it can start to crack on the inside, like the walls. So that is just a container home, and it's just sitting on, I think it's sitting on like steel frame here. So that's why it's a little bit cheaper, that one. It's just not for me. They seem a little bit too containery. They're not warm inside like the other ones, is what I'm trying to say. And the exterior, well, I don't know, I think I'd panel it if I had one of these. Let's have a look in here. Very similar look to what we were going with the black and the wood. And it's very nice, looks very clean. Now this one really does look like a log cabin. I think maybe this is a folding one as well. Oh, now this is interesting. There's 2 trailers, so they've got one trailer for the deck and another one for the tiny home. That is interesting. These are definitely not homes that you'd want to move at all, really, if that's the sort of setup, because we have enough trouble with 2 cars at the moment. I really want to get in there, but the line's really long. Should we wait? I'll come back later. Looks like this one is a giveaway. I might have to enter. Because why not? You can always sell it. Oh, there's a rain shower and a light above the shower, like you're having an outdoor shower. I quite like that. All right, I'm going to enter. You never know. You never know your luck. You never know your luck. We could be a tiny homeowner in the next 6 months. Wow, look at that. Now I know Tim likes this sort of stuff. He's always said if he had a house, he would knock down the side of the wall and make it all glass. And I think that's right up his alley. What if we can go in and have a look at that one? I'm just here for the dogs. Not only do we have that side door, we've got this massive opening at the side here. And also down the end at the bedroom, there's a sliding door. Oh, hang on a minute, guys. Look what I've just seen. There's a bathtub on a balcony. Now that is right up my alley. Squirrel. Squirrel. Anyway, we'll just have a look at this one first. And then we'll go into the bathtub. It is really bright and airy in here. There's also aircon at the top. Most of these tiny houses do have aircon. We are in Australia after all. If I just turn you guys around, very open plan. Walking through nice gold finishes, which is quite nice. And also a skylight above the bed. Also got louvers. I quite like louvers, and we had an idea to put louvers in our van, but they didn't come to pass. Okay, that is really what I want to see. So I'm in the bedroom of this one now with the bath outside. How nice would it be to park up and have like the view of the ocean or a nice bushland out the back there. The back of the wall here is really dark panelled wood. Really nice. Oh, I like the grey bathroom. And again with a rain shower. He'll put it in our cupboard. I have with tiny homes having rain showers is that what about your water supply? Where does the water supply come from in tiny houses? I guess if you're going to put it on a bit of land, you'd have a water tank or something like that, or been plumbed into the mains. I'm not sure about that. Because a rain shower would be really nice in a van, but you couldn't use it at all. What's going on here? Why is this so popular? Is he doing a talk? I think everyone's just lining up to see this deck and this actual tiny house. It's $55,000 for the deck alone. It's getting a little bit pricey now. But if you just can see inside there, there's a spiral staircase inside with banisters. It's like a real house. It's just too big. Way too big. I think I'll leave that one. Another little dog. The Tiny Home Expo is dog friendly, but you can't take your dogs in any of the tiny homes. And it's a little bit hot today too for them. So yeah, I left Pablo at home. Well, not in the van. I left them at our house set. Okay, EcoFlow. Now this is what we need for our van. If we had an EcoFlow last week, we wouldn't have run out of power at all. We would have had a backup. And this is definitely something we'll be looking into in the future. Yeah, this is a pod that is an office alone. So if you wanted to have a separate workspace, this is really good to put in your backyard and have your own little office. Or maybe you could trail it with the van. How cool would that be? You just trail your office with you. Something to think about. Another little office building. It looks like they're only $14,000. This one is not on wheels. This one is just to stand alone. But there is a couple on wheels as well. What a great idea. Just found a tiny house with another bath. This one's a clawfoot bath sitting out the front. Very nice. Wow, this one is another one with a nice little old cabin feel to it. It's beautiful. It looks like it's 2 stories, has a bath outside, nice deck. And let's go in and check it out and see if Tim sees this later. We're going to walk away with one of these, I'm sure of it. So that particular tiny house is worth $170,000. Still cheap-ish, but it's one of the higher-end tiny houses at the expo. But she was saying that it's all 100-year-old beams and it's very, very heavy as well. But it is absolutely beautiful. It even has a garden in the bedroom, and when you walk in, you can actually feel the breeze. And it's just so lovely. Now there is a few people doing talks today as well in regards to what sort of toilets and how to find land for the tiny houses and all sorts of different things. So I want to see what's up at there's a stadium? Not stadium. It's like a undercovered area for the talk. So I'll go up there and see what we can learn from other people who are taking on this fabulous lifestyle. It's about how to make your tiny home a tiny mansion. Just noticed there's a Thermomix stand here. Now, we have a Thermomix in our van and we made a box specifically for it, but we're finding that we're not going to bring it out. As that lady was just saying, you don't want to have multi things that you can, all we have to do is open this up, take this out, plug it in. I was like, oh my goodness. So we're going to probably sell my Thermomix. Unfortunately, I love it, but it's going to have to go because we just don't want to bring it out because it needs a specific spot in the van. We don't have room for it. So unfortunately, that's one of the things we're going to have to let go. But one of those would be great in a tiny home or a caravan. Probably a tiny home more so because you don't have moved as much. So it explains why they're here, but we're selling mine. Anyone want a Thermomix? Right, I think it's lunchtime now and I'm going to have to head back to the car. I did bring the car today, not the van, because our van, as you know, does not have aircon and it's a very hot day. But I need to go back to the car just to recharge my battery. I didn't bring a battery charger. That's usually Tim's role, and I totally forgot. So I have to go back to the van and recharge so I can film more for you. There is a plant-based burger place here. Yay! It's not often you find that sort of stuff, but being this sort of living expo, I had to assume there was lots of vegetarian and plant-based options. I didn't see any when I passed earlier. But I want to get a veggie burger or something vegan. Plant-based cheeseburger and fries. Not the best, but it's, well, the burger is actually beautiful, but it's not the best choice of food, I probably should say. Probably should get some veggies or something, but I haven't had a cheeseburger in so long because they're hard to get when you're vegan or vegetarian. But I'll take the opportunity while it's there. Just before I go to the car, I am looking at a winner of the Tiny House Industry Awards for Rising Star for this tiny house. It looks quite funky inside. Let's go and have a look. That tiny house is $140,000. It's really cleverly designed actually. It reminds me of our van with our lift bed, but it's got a little bedroom underneath the sitting area. It's also got a little cargo net across the top of the kitchen, so you can lie up there as well. There's also, not only did it have a loft up the top for the bedroom, but there's also a little standing room for like a little bar area to sit and watch the view, but also to be able to get changed out of the way of the main living area. So really good one. Alright, I'm going back to the car. Instead of actually charging this camera, I think I'm going to use the GoPro because I don't want to sit in the car for an hour while this charges, but we'll see how we go. I also have a friend turning up and I might meet her. Hopefully you can hear me okay. I just came back to the car just for a sec because I just need to dump some cameras. I don't know about other people out there, but I can only manage one camera when I'm trying to vlog in a busy and hot place to be out there. I can only seem to manage one camera. What do you think of the mics, guys? We've got mics and I'm wondering what the quality is like. Of course I'll know because I'm editing this and I would have seen how they are. But I'm going to leave the Osmo here and I'm going to take the GoPro back in and we'll keep filming. And yeah, because I can only really manage one. How do you solo vloggers do it out there? Because I am I'm struggling to have everything attached to me. But anyway, let's get back in there and see what else we can find. This bus behind me, I know it's a coffee bus, but Tim is looking for a bus just like that to do up. Personally, I think it's a little bit old. It would be cool though. This one here looks like it's going to be quite bright inside. Let's just take a look at this one. Okay, there's too many people to film in there, but it's just really a bedroom and an ensuite. So it's just if you want an extra bedroom for your house or something like that, a separate sort of thing, that's what you'd kind of go for. So that's quite an interesting concept. Skybox is actually a separate powered box that you can have to make your house completely sustainable. That's quite interesting. I never heard of that before. What I am a little bit disappointed in with this expo is that there's no vans. I've been to one of these expos down in Bendigo in Melbourne, and they had a row of all different types of vans that people could live in as well, and I think they've sort of skipped that. It's not quite the market they're going for in this expo, but I really wanted to see inside some vans as well, to get some storage ideas and to see how other people are living in their vans. But they just sort of skipped that in here. It's just tiny homes, pods, and it looks like, I think the style of living is a little bit too big for me. It's funny how your ideas change after a while, hey? Like these are supposed to be tiny houses, but I find them absolutely massive. It's not tiny living for me. I wanted to look around a little bit more for you guys, but you probably don't know, but I sprained my ankle last week, and I thought I'd be okay coming out today, which I am. I have been pretty good for a few hours now, but I think I might have to sit down for a bit. I'll listen to a talk or two, or else I'll have to go home. We'll just see what's see if there's another talk on that I'm interested in. Oh, I'll have to sit down. It's been a long walking day. I wonder what my steps are. Oh, of course, I didn't wear my watch. It's always the way. One of the main things here in Australia is if you get a tiny house, where do you park it? He was just talking about the different legislations in each state, what you have to do to be able to park a tiny house on a block of land. It's a little bit fiddly, and yeah, it's almost like you have to have a fixed property, a fixed house on land before you can put a tiny house on. I don't think it's a way out of that just yet, and especially not in Queensland, I don't think. Just had word. My friend is here. I'm going to see if I can catch up with her. There behind me, oh, it's sunny. It has storage underneath the bed with a little play area for the kids, which I thought was quite cool. And if you look up on the roof here, there is lighting around the edges rather than having downlights, which is also a bit different. Well, that was a very successful day. I really enjoyed it. It was heaps to see. There was about 60 different vendors there and giving heaps of ideas to heaps of people. But I'm going to go back to the car, get some aircon, and then I'll talk to you again there, because it's way too hot. Just cooling down and giving my ankles a good old rest. So I really loved that Tiny House Expo. Look, in summary, the things I got from there, what did I like? I really liked the 2 log cabin type tiny houses. I think they were just absolutely spectacular. I love that look, and I think in the future, if we ever build anything, I really would like to go more that angle. Don't get me wrong, I love our build and I love the way we've designed it. But you know, if you're going to build something else, I want to build something different. So that's the sort of angle I would go with there. I really do like the back of the bed on one of the tiny houses, just that wood paneling, absolutely amazing. I really liked the lighting on the roof of one of the tiny houses that goes right round the edge of the roof rather than the drop down lights. One of those swinging chairs would also be handy in the back of our van, although again not with the wood on the side. I probably want like a hanging hammock, I think would look nice as well. Storage wise, there was one that had storage underneath the stairs as you went up. I didn't actually get any footage of that, but I think along our stairwell perhaps we could have something there, although we're putting a step in because it's already too high. But we are going to sort of cover in that foot area with something. I did like the bathrooms outside, the open sort of feel and skylight in the bathroom area, though I think our van is almost like Swiss cheese already, and I don't think we'll be doing that, but just getting ideas for future builds as well. I thought that looked really nice. I definitely wish there was more vans there though. I really want to see tinier living. I know it's supposed to be a tiny home expo, but a lot of those houses were quite large, big massive lofts, and I'm really after tiny living, and there wasn't much there in that regard. But anyway, I'm about to head back for the doggies because I am house sitting, as you already know. You're probably wondering why I'm in a car. We haven't got rid of our car yet because we do need it at the moment, especially with house sitting and stuff. So we're keeping it until we don't need it anymore. And it's just easy to get around in sometimes. For the moment, I hope you enjoyed this episode, and let me know in the comments, what would you buy? What sort of tiny house would you get? Would you get one of those little tiny luxury pods from the beginning of the episode, or would you get a large one with a loft, and would you actually go all out? Would you go a shipping container, a caravan? Let me know in the comments what you would go for. I certainly know my choice hasn't changed, and it's still our lovely Sprinter. I hope you enjoyed this episode of the Tiny Home Expo. Please subscribe if you haven't already, give us a big like, and we'll see you next week.